Hey, what's up, guys? This is Andrew from 3DDC, and this is going to be a really quick kind of update video on this Raspberry Pi case. I have two previous videos documenting how I made it and everything, but I just wanted to share some of the updates I have to do. So I went ahead and cut out the top for the USB ports just because it wasn't quite big enough, and plus I kind of think that looks kind of cool anyway, having the top of the Ethernet port and USB port showing. Also, I had to extend this SD card out a little bit, give myself a little more room. And the final thing, which is actually what we're going to be doing in this video, is you see the pegs. Well, no, you don't, because there is none. They broke off. This is the prototype I printed out. And the Raspberry Pi fit in there and everything, but it just, it broke the pegs. Don't know how well you can see that, but I mean, the pegs just really don't work out. I think what it is my printer. My printer bought Simple Metal. It just doesn't have as good a resolution on the Z height as something like a Delta printer would have. But if you had something like a Delta printer, this would be a great idea because you don't need any screws. But I'm gonna have to go the screw route. So I'm gonna have to make these holes instead of pegs. Then I'm gonna have to make something on the top to receive those screws. So a lot of people, including myself even, they kind of go away from using screws like this because what happens is you need screws to screw the two halves together, but you can't. Then you'd have to make the case bigger, and I really wanted to make this a really slim case so the Raspberry Pi would fit really nicely in it, and it'd be almost the size of the Raspberry Pi. So, but what I can do is, I already have, here on the top, I have these receptacles for the pins. Well, their diameter is actually already 3 millimeters, so I don't even have to change that. And I can use that to, I can extend that out, and then I can use screws. So you don't even have to have really long screws. You can just have regular short screws. I'm using a 440 by 3/8. That's pretty much what I always use for anything. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show the bottom here, and this sketch that I created the pegs and standoffs from, I think it's sketch 4. Yeah, sketch 4 right here. I'm going to edit it, and actually I already did this once, and that was 2 millimeters, so I changed it to 3 millimeters because I'm going to make a hole, and I found with 440 screws at least that 3 millimeters is pretty good for making a hole. So I changed that on both of those. Of course, this was just a mirror of it, so it changed that too. So if I press OK, you see the pegs are now 3 millimeters in diameter, all of them are. But of course, we don't want to use pegs now, so this extrude that we did from it, extrude 5 was for the pegs. Well, I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to give it a minute to get everything together. And I'm going to bring it out this way, and I'm going to press remove. Okay, so now you see you have those holes. So that's good. And I'm going to go ahead and hide that sketch because it's kind of getting in my way. And what I'm going to do is apply a chamfer by going up here to chamfer. And the screws actually have kind of a recessed head, so I need the chamfer there so the screw can be flush with the enclosure. And I'm going to do it something like 1.5 millimeters, I think works pretty good. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to press OK there. So now you have screws that'll go through there, their heads fits in there, and it comes out here, and then that'll screw the board down, and then to screw the two halves together, I can use the same screws. So one, I could really just use really long screws and use the existing receptacles that I have, but I don't have really long screws. So what I'm going to do is just where I extruded these out, I'm going to extrude them further. And it kind of takes a little bit of trial and error. You could go through and measure it and stuff, but I just kind of figured out that 16 millimeters was a good way to extrude it. So let me figure out where this extrude was. It was extrude 6. So I'm going to edit that. And remember, this is already 3 millimeters, so we made it 3 millimeters. So I can keep it at 3 millimeters. That's what I need anyway. So I determined through some trial and error that 16 was good. So you can see it'll come out there, and that's now 16 millimeters sticking out, and that'll still print fine and everything, because of course it's going to print like this. Well, it's going to print with the top down, which means it'll print like this. So that's going to be fine. There's no overhangs or anything like that. So now let's go ahead and check it with the bottom. So if you look inside there, if you kind of can, you see there's some space in there. Now if I show the Pi 2, you can't really see anything, but I'm going to hide the bottom. I'm going to hide the bottom, and you can see there's that space there. And our screw should be long enough. The screw's about 10 millimeters long. It's 3/8, which is about 10 millimeters. So yeah, that should be long enough. I could draw the screw in there, and if I wasn't in kind of a hurry, I would go ahead and draw the screw in there just to make sure it would fit. But I'm positive that'll fit. So that's pretty much it. And so that just goes to show you, I mean, your design's not always going to work the first time, and that's what's great about 3D printing. I don't have to operate like a expensive CNC machine and use like $100 of material to make this case. I can use like 15 cents of material and my like $500 printer bot that sits in my bedroom to prototype this. And then if I find out some things don't work, well, I can just go in here and change some stuff to make it work. So that's what's really cool about 3D printing. That's why I love 3D printing. It's just really great, and all open source and everything. At least my printer bot is. So yeah, thanks for watching, and let me know what you think. Drop a like, subscribe, comment. Thanks a lot. Stay tuned for next time.